Hello, welcome to Fantastic Books and where to find them. In celebration of its release today, I want to say happy book birthday to Invictus by Graudin, and this is the book I'm going to talk to you guys about today. I was able to get hold of an art copy of this at Awtft from the lovely team at Bookmark, so thank you guys so much for giving me the opportunity to get to read the book early and get to do a review. I also want to say a massive thank you to Ryan for sharing this story with us so we can read it in the first place. So Invictus follows Faraway Gaius McCarthy, who is the son of a Roman gladiator from 95 AD and a time-travelling historian from 2354, where time travel is a fairly common occurrence. So some events transpire and Far ends up defying the laws of nature and is born outside of time. 17 years later, Far fails his final exam, which would have enabled him to follow his dreams of being a time traveller like his mother. So Far takes another avenue to realise those dreams of venturing through time. Far is offered his own time machine to captain, so long as he uses the TM to go back in the past and steal and acquire rare and valuable items for his employer. One of the perks, however, of a non-corp sanctioned and very illegal operation, apart from the great pay and fantastic holiday destinations, is that Far gets to choose his own crew. The dynamic of the group he brings together, which is portrayed really well through interactions and relationships, are probably one of my favourite things in this book. Everyone just fits together so well, and I'm not usually a big fan of multiple points of narration. It fits really well, it's just done so seamlessly, and you get to know the characters well enough that you can pretty much instantly tell whose point of view you're reading from tone and then attitude, really. Our historian is Imogen McCarthy, who is Far's older cousin. She rocks a new hair colour every day, and with the cutest pain in the tail there ever was, Saffron the red panda by her side, all rummaging around the overhead pipes. Imogen's job is to know her history and brief the team on the time periods that they visit for each mission. Her speciality is fashions from the past. Imogen is described as the swirl on the Invictus and Graham is described as the click, and I think that is actually a really apt description. Practically a human computer, Graham is at home with numbers and calculations, making him the perfect choice for the engineer to pilot the Invictus through time. That is when he's not beating his high score on Tetris or solving Rubik's Cubes with his eyes closed. Then we have Priya, our chai tea guzzling music nerd of a medic. She's clever, resourceful and reliable, and she's always there to patch up Far when he gets into trouble. And she's also pretty awesome at picking out playlists for pretty much every occasion. A year of snatching artefacts down the line and a mission on the Titanic to collect a jewel-encrusted book goes down the pan when Far bumps into Elliot, who is another time traveller. 2 steps ahead of him at all times, this girl has knowledge which could bring Far's entire existence into question and maybe save all of time and space as well. The pacing is fantastic. It moves fast, it builds up at the right moments when it needs to, but it can just as easily be slow and gentle on the right occasion. I was worried that a book about time travel primarily would have trouble with pacing, but Invictus pressed all the right buttons for me. The same is true of the action scenes. They weren't too heavy, but they were described well at the same time, and I think this book would translate really well into being a film. I cannot express how much of such a well-rounded book this is, balancing everything really well while still having like shocking reveals and heart-wrenching moments. There was I was caught in the library crying, which was nice and awkward. Like with some YA, there was also some romance, but it was done really, really well. It wasn't too in your face. It felt genuine and like they were healthy relationships, which I don't think you always see in YA. But it wasn't overdone at all, and at times it was really, really cute. So it got to the point in the end where I did actually stop tabbing about this point here, which is 341 pages in. Just because I was so enthralled that I didn't stop reading at this point to the end, and I just didn't have time to stop and tab. I just didn't have the forethought for it. I was totally invested in what was happening, and just tabbing went out the window. As for things I didn't like in this book, there surprisingly wasn't that much that I didn't like. As you can see from the lack of orange in there, there was only a few things. Most of it was things like phrases or song lyrics that just felt out of place. One of my notes I wrote was that it felt really, really teenagery in places, but to be honest, it's a YA book, so it doesn't feel teenagery. It's not doing its job right. One thing that did really annoy me to begin with was the swearing without swearing. Things like crux this and blue box that. But towards the end, I didn't really notice them as much. They were definitely still there, but they were bothering me less. So I don't know if that really counts, especially as I've now used Crux twice accidentally in actual conversations, and once on purpose when I dropped a bowl of grapes over the floor in front of my toddler. So I think I'll let that slide. It did, however, it reminded me actually of using the phrase Goram in Firefly, and seeing as this book sort of describes itself as a Doctor Who meets Firefly, I think that was actually really awesome, especially with the blue box curse. I wonder if that is maybe a reference to a certain other time travelling device by any chance. Nevertheless, even with all the swearing but not swearing, Invictus is an easy 5-star for me. I think it may actually knock Strange the Dreamer off its top spot for my favourite book this year. It's just got so much stuff in it that works well, but I couldn't help but give it 5 stars easily. So like I said at the beginning of the video, this book is out today. This is, like I said, the ARC cover. The actual cover is beautiful. I'll put a picture somewhere because I did find one in the wild the other day, and I kind of wish I'd brought it there and then. I mean, I'm going to buy it eventually anyway. I'm like a book cover magpie. If it's got foil on it, I need it. So if you think you like the sound of it, or if you're a fan of Ryan Graudin's other work, I will put a link in the description below for you guys to check it out and get hold of the book if you want to. I'm going to have to read some of Ryan's other work, I think, because I've never read anything by her before. I really, really enjoyed her writing style. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give me a thumbs up and let me know. I release a new video once a week, at least once a week. So don't forget to subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye!